Hello there, Pisces, and welcome to your monthly forecast. This is for the month of October, and I'd like to start off by welcoming back all of my return viewers. Thank you not only for the support you've lent to me, but also for showing up every month, doing the work on yourself, and digging deeper into your own intuitive skills. It means a lot, and it also inspires me to come back, so thank you. To anybody that is brand new to the channel, I would also like to extend a very warm welcome and give you a proper introduction. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and this is how I organize the reading every month. I begin with a channeled message, and this is when I tune into my intuition, and I'll share with you anything that I hear, feel, or see in respect to your sign and the month ahead. After that, I use a deck of cards and lay out a Celtic cross to tune into any of the key opportunities and challenges that might also be coming through. And then I like to extend the forecast to look at some key areas that I know you care about, including health, wealth, love, and destiny. These readings can always be used for your sun, rising, and moon sign, and you can also watch on behalf of someone that you care about. So as I think you can see, there's a lot of information that you can take in during this forecast, and if you like what you see, and I certainly hope you do, I would love for you to stick around until the very end of this reading. At that point, in addition to giving you a nice, concise review of everything that we talk about, I'll also discuss how you can support the channel and ensure that future videos just like this are made possible. Briefly speaking, this includes everything from liking and subscribing to sharing on social media, booking an appointment, and even becoming a patron. I'll go into the specifics of how and why this is important at the very end, but right now I know you'd love to hear the forecast, so let's get straight into the channeled message for October. As I selected a deck of cards and I began to meditate on your sign, there were two distinct messages that came through. The first one was of giving or receiving help. I saw a life preserver being thrown out, and the message that came through to me was ask for help. So if it's you and you're in a place in your life where you just feel like you need assistance, don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask. If it's a place of employment or school, there's probably a missing component that will make things much easier. So ask a fellow classmate or a teacher, get the advice that you need. It didn't feel as urgent in that particular situation. Some of you, though, may be at a point in your life where you just feel overwhelmed. And this is something where I do think it is a lot more serious. And if that's the case, pick up the phone, call a friend, or call anybody and just say, I need some help. I feel like this is too much, because I saw help coming for you. And I think that it's important to know that it's only a phone call away, that you're not alone. And it feels like your sign needed to hear that this month. So don't try to do this on your own. Ask for help. It will be easy. There will be someone that will be there for you. And I think that's just a really important piece to put out there. The second message that I got was unrelated to the asking for assistance. This was more about trying to find a certain answer to something or a person in your life. And what came to me is that you're missing something obvious. And perhaps it's because it's right around you, like it's in the environment. So if you're trying to find contact information for someone, or if you're trying to find the right person to reach out to, I feel like it's 1 or 2 degrees away from you. It's someone that you know or someone that knows someone. So do a little bit of extra research and due diligence and just talk to people around you in your office or in your house. And I think you'll be able to find that particular person. If you lost an item, it doesn't feel like it's too far out of your periphery. And so what I wrote down for the second piece was leave no stone unturned. It's somewhere right in your general vicinity. The assistance piece has to do with a feeling of being overwhelmed. So for those of you that might be going through grief, frustration, or you know someone in your life that feels like they're in a place where they're not being able to handle the situation, that emotional assistance, please either be there for someone or ask for the help that you need. The second piece has to do with needing to locate a person or a thing. And I think that it's much closer than you think. It just sort of, I don't know if you've ever done this when you've misplaced your keys. Sometimes it's hanging right up there in the kitchen, or you just have to kind of retrace your steps. So do a little bit of retracing. I think you're gonna find that item. The other piece though, that is something that you actually need assistance for, and it's more emotionally driven. And I feel that the minute you step outside of your pride or your discomfort or your fear of being rejected, that life preserver gets thrown to you and you feel so much better. Sometimes we just need to know that we're not alone. So that's one thing that I'm letting you know here. And there's so many resources, by the way, if you're suffering from depression or something else that you just feel like you're isolated. Do a Google search, pick up the phone. You are not alone, okay? Let's go ahead now and take a look at all of the cards and the other messages that are coming through for this month. At this point, I'm going to turn the camera down and I will remain quiet at this point. But afterwards, I'm going to pull up each and every card and we'll go into a nice deep dive for all of the information in the month of October. Now in the Catalyst card, I have something here that reminds me a little bit of the Hermit here, but let's just read the message and we'll relate it to how it's going to kind of pan out for this month. It says, taking shelter and the answers are within. Now in a typical Hermit card, you'll see a figure that's shrouded in darkness holding a lantern. Within that lantern is a star or light, and basically the key element there is that they're seeking an answer that they kind of already know, or they discover something about themselves. It's an introverted card, but there is an element of self-discovery within the Hermit, and ultimately it's a card of empowerment, because I said this on another video this month, but the Hermit card gives way to the star, because that spark of light, that inspiration, that intuition is something that becomes recognized once you do that internal sort of journey of the soul. I see here just that lantern. But I am intuiting that the Hermit energy is around this. And of course, shelter and Hermit also go hand in hand. One thing that I'd like to kind of cross-reference this with is what I was saying earlier about leaving no stone unturned, but that something was simpler than it seemed. And I'm flashing back to an old scene in Contact where they talked about something called Occam's razor. Basically, it was that sometimes the easiest solution is the best solution, that we don't have to sort of like obfuscate it or complicate it. And my advice for you this month is that you know what you need to do. There may be a big decision in your life that feels heavy because it may impact many people around you, or it's a big shift in who you're becoming or what's going to go on in your life, and it's a little scary. But if it feels right, or if it makes sense, then it's the right thing to do. And I think that sometimes we try to talk ourselves into something or out of something. So don't do that much work this month. Go with the base feeling of this is right or this is wrong. Everything on top of that is not your intuition. It was the first thing you felt, and if you can get back to that, you're going to feel much better, because I think that if you do talk yourself in or out of something that later you regret, it's going to be so much harder to fix the situation. So you already know what to do. Trust the intuition, and you can ask, a dozen different people and get a dozen different answers. This particular card is about going introspective. That's the Hermit, basically, right? You have the answer, you have the light, you have the insight within. Trust that, move forward, okay? Let's go ahead now and look at card by card and see what additional insights are coming through here in the Celtic Cross. At the center, we have the Ace of Vessels, or the Ace of Cups. And with this card in reverse, this is definitely connecting with some of that asking for assistance, especially if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed. It doesn't always have to equate to depression. It can just sometimes be sort of exhaustion, fatigue, frustration. This happens all over the place. Anybody can go through this. So if it's just been a busy work day and you feel like you've had it, this is you trying to diffuse that Ace of Cups reverse because nobody's helping you. So in this case, it could be about delegation or proactively communicating to somebody that this is an unreasonable request. So somehow communicate your feeling, your need, your desire, because you're doing more than enough and it feels like it's time to have somebody support you, someone to lift you up. Crossing this card, we have the Six of Cups, which shows that there is so much help and assistance there. This is the life preserver that I saw. The Six of Cups, when it's normally illustrated, would show two children or friends or two key figures that are somehow offering friendship to one another. So this is right around you. This is a coworker, a family member, a friend, or someone that is in a position of authority that will be more than obliged to give you assistance. And I picked up on it earlier when I was meditating. I think the same thing here is true. There seems to be a sensitivity or an uncertainty around reaching out to that friend. You can't really go wrong with the Six of Cups. So trust yourself, ask for help. You'll feel relief when you do that. The other thing that I'm seeing for some of you is that you're trying to resolve an old relationship. This could be a sibling relationship. It could be a soulmate relationship, which could also explain why we have like a double dose here. This is the sadness, and then there's this really intense connection that is difficult to let go of if it's something that's not working out. So it feels like if you have a core relationship that's kind of putting you in a place of distress this month, obviously that has to be fixed before you can kind of deal with anything else around you. Looking at the deep past, we have the Ten of Cups. So much energy around emotion coming through this month. The good news, by the way, with the Ace of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Ten of Cups is that if you're trying to do anything in a big way and make a splash, you have all of the requisite pieces this month to do so. So in a marketing perspective, I'm actually really excited for many of you. When it comes to family, there may be a wedding that you're planning because all of these cards absolutely remind me of sort of like pre-wedding jitters, cold feet, or just wondering, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? And in this case, you totally should talk to the best man or best woman and get some support because I'm not getting any indication that you're doing the wrong thing. It just feels like you're feeling overwhelmed, right? And this is what I was talking about earlier, where it's just sort of like, how do I handle this? So I get a big emotional sort of avalanche here at the beginning of the month. Sort that out, walk yourself back from the ledge and find a way to just take a deep breath. And by the way, that would be a fantastic thing to really be practicing right now. Any sort of yoga or meditation. I've been saying this for many signs, but wow, it especially is true for you, Pisces. You're emotional anyway, in a good way. You're sensitive, you're tapped into your intuition. But if there's a kind of double dose of all of this going on, like family, a big life decision, a lot of pressure, a lot of people expecting you to do something, then you need to feel okay and do whatever you need to do to be okay, even if that means saying no or stepping away from it or changing your mind. I said earlier, you know exactly what you have to do, so just follow through on that, okay? The other thing that I'm seeing with all of this is try not to worry so much about what other people are thinking. You need to be happy at the end of the day. So whether it's work, family, or community, too much pressure is going on. You're putting pressure on yourself and you might be imagining more sort of energy around you than actually exists, like what people are saying or thinking. Let's look at your recent past. Finally, we have a card here that is not related to cups, and I actually really like it. Shaman in this deck is equivalent to the Magician. The Magician is a card of manifestation. It's a beginning card, basically, and I want you to pick something that you really love this month, because with all of that passionate energy at the center, if you could channel it into something really, really productive, oh my gosh, this could be amazing for you. So for those of you that are artists, writers, composers, any way, shape, or form involved in the performing arts, you could really make something beautiful this month. And everything that I see here, all of these deep waters, you know, we've got, again, Ace of Cups, Six of Cups, Ten of Cups. This is major drama and something that would really resonate with the general public. So this is great for artists. For those of you that are professionals, just, working in a traditional job, this can still be something that's really cool because you could channel this idea, this energy, this passion into something that really, again, pulls people in. You just have to find a way to convey that in more business type terms. The only thing with the Shaman card or the Magician card that can sometimes be overwhelming is that this is kind of like a jack of all trades. So if you are being drawn in too many directions at once, or if there's multiple parts to what you're trying to accomplish, this can sometimes create a sense of being completely overwhelmed. In the crowning position, we have a card that's going to help you overcome this. This is the Green Man, and in this particular deck, that stands for the Emperor. And so I think that it would be really great to bring in someone to help manage this, and this is who you could go to for assistance with delegation. So if you can't do it because I see the card reversed, then pick someone that you really, really trust. It could come from a very close circle of friends. That's what the Six of Cups is. So if you have a best friend, a brother, sister, family member, and you think, I trust you, I'm going to bring you in to help with this, I think that's a really great thing. One thing that you want to be mindful of this month is putting things down in writing and getting it in a contract somehow. We have the Stag, which in this particular deck is Justice because they swapped 8 and 11 in this particular deck. But with Justice, what this says is you don't want to basically just do a handshake on anything. Get a non-disclosure agreement in place. If there's anything that you're uncertain, get a lawyer in to sort of take a look at it. So if you have this big creative idea, patent it, sign everything, that you have to kind of button this up, and make sure that anybody that's looking at it also agrees to that as well, okay? The other thing that I'm seeing with this particular Justice card, because we see someone kind of carrying a drum here, is that you could actually be doing something in a sort of activist vein this month. I was thinking of that girl, the Swedish girl that organized that big climate sort of protest. You could be rallying a lot of people because when we look at the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the reverse, it could be taking something that's not working, gathering a leader. You could be the leader even if you're an unlikely leader because this card was reversed, and finding a way to mobilize and organize all of this energy that wants to do something. And there's a leadership opportunity here for you. So this is something to think about. You could start a company, you could start a movement, you could be an activist. What do you want to do with this? The decision is with you. But whenever I see Justice, it's about making change, it's about leading the charge, and this one is about kind of like drumming up support or interest in something. So there's a little bit of commerce involved with it, and that's something that we see continued when we go into the Ego this month. We have 9 of Pentacles, which is one of the, it's the penultimate, I would say, because it's the second to the last one. So this is one of the best cards when it comes to sort of self-sufficiency. 10 of Pentacles or the Ace of Pentacles, those are very, very clear indications of wealth and stability. But the 9 of Pentacles is often illustrated with a woman, and she's surrounded by all of these sort of trees or bushes that are overflowing with money. So what I see for you is this chance for abundance, wealth, and opportunity, and it's tapped into this passionate interest that you might have. And you can get other people involved, and you could drum up support and then channel that into something really interesting or really effective. The 9 of Pentacles also indicates, in general, that your finances are in a decent place this month. And it's really more of a decision of how do you want to spend your time and energy? Because if you are in that place of kind of having more than enough, then you have choices to make. One thing that I'm seeing with all of those cards that kind of encapsulate passion is a sense of maybe either discomfort or malaise. So maybe you ended up being on a very successful track, but you're feeling burned out, or you're wondering if there's something more. And judgment or justice, in this case justice, can indicate weighing things out, trying to make the decision. So you have a choice to make this month. We have an interesting card coming through in the environment. Normally, 3 of Cups can show a party, a celebration, casual dating, friends that are coming through into your life. It's a very social card. When it becomes reversed, it can show that you're pulling back a little bit. It's a gentle version of the Hermit card. It's sort of unwanted advances sometimes if you're married. It can be if you're just trying to kind of like take care of your health and people are constantly asking you to meet for lunch or go for coffee, and it's just sort of like, I need to relax, I need to spend tonight in. Honor that, because it does feel like there's a little bit of fatigue there. There's also a general caution with this card to avoid any sort of gossip or any sort of peer pressure, because the Three of Cups card in reverse is a very chatty card, and it's not always one of the highest frequency. So tune out from some of that kind of energy, and you may be just trying to moderate how you're spending your time. And if you're trying not to drink too much or eat too much, this card is indicating that you're on the right track with that. So be strong. There could be some temptations with people in your life and the environment. And because I see the Magician card here in the past, this is showing that it could be a trigger for those of you that have found your way to sobriety or have lost weight or have gotten healthy, and there's someone in your life that's trying to sabotage. So definitely don't let that kind of get into your energy, because you've come so far and you're doing great here, as I see with the Nine of Pentacles. So don't worry about it. Just follow your intuition and steer clear of that. Now, as I look at your possibility space, we have the Nine of Cups. I don't think I've ever seen so many cups in a spread. The Nine of Cups is good. It's actually a card that shows, the ability to see the bright side of things. But the reversal of it comes through when sometimes we are thrown off our path because one thing goes wrong, or one thing is not exactly the way we want it. So my encouragement for you this month is to focus on how much progress you've made, how strong you are, especially in the light of people trying to tempt you or distract you, and praise yourself for that, and turn your attention towards what your true goals and passions are. Because as I look at your outcome card, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and I love that we have like a mama bear for this card, because this is protecting your life, your livelihood, everything that you've built. And it's worth defending. You've worked really hard to get where you're at. The Queen of Pentacles also indicates success. So we have the Nine of Pentacles showing that resources are definitely in your favor. And then the Queen of Pentacles, which is a job opportunity, a confirmation that your money will continue to work in a positive direction. I'm not seeing debt coming through this month unless you make any mistakes or give into some of that peer pressure that I see. So by and large, everything's looking really good when it goes when we're looking at career or money. The main question for you is, are you happy? Are you feeling a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction with your career path? And if not, then you have choices to make. And you might have to stand up for something that really makes you happy or really makes you feel a sense of passion. Overall, I like what I see. The only thing that is really, really interesting this month is the intensity and the amount of Cups cards that came through. This is a deck I've used many, many times. It's extremely shuffled. And so when I see this much, it's showing me that emotions are running high and that there's a lot of people coming in and out of your life. Cups is very social. So as we kind of review some of those, Ace of Cups can be a romantic situation that needs your attention. Six of Cups is usually close family or siblings. The 10 of Cups can be something that you would see with marriage. So that's why I definitely see that this could be like a family reunion or a marriage or some sort of personal family situation where everybody seems to kind of be weighing in. That's the gossip that we see in the environment with the 3 of Cups. And then when I'm looking at 9 of Cups, it's basically just saying, keep your head on straight. There's way too many cooks in this kitchen. You know what to do. If you need to sort of find some space, find some shelter. I think that's why we have the mama bear here at the end. She's finding her own cave and trying to get away from all of this craziness, and I don't blame her. So if you need to kind of, take a day off or go rent a hotel room and get away from all of this nonsense, please do. I think that's really wise. Remember, again, not to be afraid to reach out to someone to help manage all of this as well. Let's go ahead and expand the forecast now. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with your health card. Health, of course, includes mind, body, and spirit. And this is a sort of reality check for you. The card says vanity. And really what this is indicating is that, of course, beauty is only skin deep, and beauty is also in the eye of the beholder. So For instance, if you love someone in your life and someone else is questioning like why you find them beautiful, I would question what their taste is. If you're happy with this person and you see them as a wonderful addition to your life, who cares what this person thinks, right? You're seeing the true soul energy of someone. The same is true if someone else loves you and one of their friends says something rude. It's just someone that is being vain or very base or very unimaginative or unperceptive. So this month, go beneath the surface, and also don't take yourself too seriously or your looks too seriously, because something's coming through just encouraging you to not get too involved in that kind of scene. You need to just be happy in your life. A certain number on the scale, a certain size on your body, it's not going to equate to healthiness and happiness. You have to love yourself, you have to love who you're with, and trying to fit in those molds, it's not worth it. So something about vanity is coming through, and my message to you is that these are vessels, and they may fluctuate by a few pounds here and there, or they're going to age, skin is going to change, hair is going to change. If you can find some sort of a level of comfort with the fact that that's part of the process, it's going to be healthy. And if someone in your life is making you feel less than, then the universe is telling you that that person really isn't the best match for you, okay? So you are beautiful, and if you love someone, they are beautiful, and if someone can't see that, they are not supposed to probably be in your periphery. Don't let them get under your skin, okay? Let's look at wealth here. We have a card here that says, Sacred Self, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. I love that, very shamanic. And actually, as we look here at the Justice card here, that is about also getting people excited about what you're trying to do, and I mentioned that. So you could do some fundraising this month, whether it's for business, politics, or some sort of activist type activity. It's all in the cards this month. You have the ability to create something from nothing by simply sharing your passion and communicating that idea with someone. So I encourage you to do that if you have that sort of entrepreneurial spirit in yourself. The other thing here is it's about not being afraid to try something risky, right? We have express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So maybe you have always had more of a traditional job, working at a bank or working in some sort of, working in an Excel sheet, and it just doesn't feel like it's you, and you have this desire to try something unusual. Go to whatever that is on a soul level and experience it, because nothing about what I'm seeing here in this spread says typical. All of these cups cards are highly expressive, even for Pisces. So it feels like you have this big idea or something that you have to let out. Allow your mind, body, and spirit to kind of exercise that, and know that because it is so near and dear to you, other people are going to buy into it, okay? Finally, it could just mean a shift in career, right? I said that some of you are doing well but might be lacking the passion. So if you're ready to make a change, make that change happen, okay? Let's look now at love. And we basically have a card that's representing you, Pisces, because look at all these fish here. But what we see is a third party coming in, and because there should just be two fish for Pisces. And I think this has a lot to do with the Three of Cups in the environment. If you're in a happy relationship with somebody, and again, it's an unwanted advance from somebody, or your partner is questioning if they want to be with you in the long run, maybe they want to open up the relationship, have a serious heart-to-heart with them, because this is a sort of dangerous card to come up in relationships. If you're happy and things are stable, this could create chaos from what I'm seeing here, especially with the Queen of Stones card here at the end. This is a sort of defensive card that popped up. So I think it's important to have honest communications with whoever you're with, but take a good hard look at, if you're in a monogamous relationship, does your partner really want to open it up? And if you've been with someone for a while and you're tempted with someone else, look at the history that you've shared with this person and think, is it worth risking that? Otherwise, what I'm seeing, if you're single and looking, there are opportunities knocking on the door. I see two equivalents to a Three of Cups. One that literally is the Three of Cups, and then something that's showing a lot of water energy and three individuals coming through, okay? You just have to make sure that you feel comfortable with putting yourself back out there if you are single and happy and not looking, okay? Let's now take a look at the final card in the spread. This is Destiny, but as I mentioned in every sign this month, Destiny is very malleable. You have decisions, you have choices with this, and this helps you see if you're on the right path. So the message here is Force, and it says, Force lives in your will and comes from your intent. Empower your will and your strength of Force by manifesting your secret dreams. I think this has to do with what we were seeing in career. Some of you are ready to try something new, but you can't force the timing. That piece of Force is quite literal. And the other thing is your passion creates this sort of undeniable force that people have to deal with. So with all of this passionate energy this month, if you're ready to do something, channel it, own it, and people will get behind you, okay? I definitely see a shift for some of you with respect to jobs or an ability to make a major splash in some way, shape, or form. Let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, and I'll leave you with your closing word. Your channel message this month was twofold. The first piece was to not be afraid to ask for help. Some of you may be really excited and have this passionate idea. You might need a project manager for that. Some of you may be overwhelmed by a big decision, and you may need the shoulder to lean on from a mentor. And some of you may just be feeling depressed or overwhelmed, and you should absolutely seek out the help of a professional in that situation. The other thing is not to overcomplicate certain decisions. We see here the indication of the Hermit in the Catalyst, which indicates that you know what you already need to do, but that you might be trying to talk yourself in or out of something. Trust that initial feeling and know that that's your intuition. Everything else is just noise. At the center, we have the Ace of Cups. It's reversed, which shows that this is a month where you need to ask for what you want. I feel like you do a great job of giving to others, a really great job actually, because we have the Ten of Cups and Ace of Cups both reversed, which means that you've been a very good support, but it's now your turn, and I think people will be happy to be there for you. You notice that this card actually has the text reunion on it, so some of you may be going to a family event, whether it's a wedding, a reunion, or some sort of gathering. It could also be a funeral. There's a lot of family and a lot of people that love you. And so whatever you're going through, you don't have to do that alone. With the Magician here in the recent past, all of this energy can be used to channel that into something really productive that could be sold, that could help raise capital, that could just make you feel really productive. So I encourage you to use your artistic skills, whatever they may be, and somehow really take that energy and transmute it. If you need help, get it. We have the green man here, which is the Emperor basically in most decks, and this could be a project manager, an elder, some sort of person that you could delegate the work or the decision making to. But guess what? This could also be you, because it seems like a step-up opportunity. Some of you just have this sort of shy energy this month, as we saw with this Hermit card or revised Hermit card. So don't be afraid to kind of step into something new and take a risk. With the Stag, which is Justice, you have an ability this month to get people excited, to rally money, to get support for some sort of a movement, an idea, or a project. It's also saying that you really want to make sure that any big idea is protected properly, and we talked about how you could do that earlier. Money looks pretty good for you this month. With the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, I feel pretty good about where you're at. It's really a matter of, are you satisfied? And when I'm looking at Three of Cups and Nine of Cups reversed, I feel like some of you may not be. But I want you to just kind of tune into the energy of the Three of Cups reversed, which can be gossip or peer pressure, and make sure that it's not this vanity card that we see here where someone's judging who you are, what you do, who you love. In that particular instance, that's an unhealthy energy that's coming from them, and I think this desire to kind of push them out of your periphery is absolutely appropriate. It's good this month to exercise some sort of temperance, even though that card didn't come through. Less is more. We have all of these passionate cards. Many of them are reversed, so you want to be careful. Keep your eye on the prize here. I love that the final card is in an upright position and it's a money card or a resource card. You're going to be fine this month as long as you keep grounded and focused on what your final goal is. And with Queen of Pentacles, by the way, this can be about spending time at home, home improvement, starting a family, creating a project, or bringing that project to someone and getting it sold. So by and large, I really feel good about what you can do this month. There's just a lot of emotions that you have to sort through. We talked at length about this. Try not to give into peer pressure, your own vanity or others' vanity. It's not worth it this month. When we're looking at work, there is a challenge to go higher here and do something that's near, dear, and sacred to your heart. With love and relationships, there could be new love on the horizon, temptation, or maybe even unwanted advances. Depending on what it is, you'll know how to best approach that. But I do see love and interest in you this month, if that's something that you want. And if you're unpartnered, it could be a very strong earth sign that's not afraid to pursue you, because we have that bear energy coming through here. And finally, with force, remember to also stand your ground here. We have the stampede of horses coming through. And what I see here is that once you kind of build momentum in your life, it becomes its own force to be reckoned with. So that could be either you deciding to move forward on something. It could be you garnering or gathering support for something that you're passionate about. But you have a lot more power than you give yourself credit for. This card, which would show management and authority, is reversed. Own that power. I see so much potential here, and I see a lot of resources and a lot of both, I would say, human resources and also actual money resources, time, energy, and money. So I think that this is a great month for you if you can sort out the emotions and perhaps the potentially unwanted affections that I saw in the environment. So this brings your monthly reading to a close, but hopefully you got all of the guidance that you needed to be able to navigate some of the challenges and also some of the opportunities. You have a pretty even match of both this month, and I feel pretty confident that you'll be able to be just fine. But if you ever have any questions about something that I covered here, or if there's something else going on in your life that we didn't have a chance to cover in the general reading here, feel free to reach out to me. If you click on the first card in the video or the first link below it, that'll take you to my booking site where you can take a look at both my rates and availability. And if you like what you see, feel free to book an appointment, and I look forward to meeting you very soon. If you'd like to just support videos like this, the content that you see on this channel, you can make a difference. If you click on that second card or second link, this will walk you through how you can become a patron, either by joining me on Patreon, by doing a one-time donation through PayPal, or clicking the join button here on YouTube. Any of these approaches will not only allow me to buy new cards, but most importantly, allow me to set up the time to produce and create videos just like this. So if you've done it before, I want to say thank you. And if you're thinking of doing it today, you're making the next round of videos a possibility. So I just want to say I appreciate you. The last way that you can give back is the easiest, and I'd love for you to do it if you have the time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done that, and then click on the third card or third link. This will allow you to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as my newsletter. And then you can also share what you see here on your social media networks, and I would love for you to do that. Because my goal in showing up here each month ties into my planetary goal, which is to raise consciousness, to give people resources to deal with all the challenges they have, and hopefully to inspire other light workers out there to get on their path and help others. So a simple like, share, and subscribe helps me on that path, and I just want to say thanks. For your closing word this month, you have more power than I think you recognize. I love this Mama Bear, Queen of Pentacles rather, and the Stampede of Energy, which is also tied into this ability to kind of drum up support here, as we see in Justice, or the Stag here. And then the Emperor card here, the Green Man. All of these are showing the ability to stir up support, to stir the heartstrings of people, and it's the passion that is inherent to your sign that is what's going to make you such an effective leader, business person, and just human being on this planet. So follow your passion and get other people excited as well. I'd like to end the video with just a little bit of gratitude. You have a lot of choices here on YouTube and also in life. So the fact that you spent this time with me means a lot. And I wanted to also bring out Apollo, because a lot of you have asked to meet him. His hair is all scrunched up because he was taking a nap, but I wanted to make sure just about every sign had a chance to say hi to him this month. So hopefully I will do a future video with this little guy. And in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and as I said just a moment ago, do something that you love with your life. You have so much passion, and I can't wait to see what your sign does with it, okay? I'll see you soon.